Hey guys, I'm Fancy, and you're watching the Good Wives Network, and we are back with part 3 of the Crime Lines update into the Daybell Vallow timeline. So, as you know, currently we are going through the trial of of Chad Daybell. His wife was convicted 1 year earlier, Lori Vallow, of all three conspiracies to commit unaliving and all three unaliving charges that she was charged with. She is serving numerous life sentences consecutively, and we are now watching her husband Chad go through the court system. We have just finished wrapping up the defense's case after the prosecution put on a very lengthy case. We are looking at, some rebuttal witnesses this next week with a hopefully closing arguments by Thursday, and maybe by Friday this might actually go to the jury, which would be fantastic. But we are going through this timeline of events, and we are up to December 20th of 2019. The Rexburg Police Department officially announced that JJ and Tylee are missing. Police say their disappearance is possibly linked to a suspicious death of Tammy, and the following day police called Chad and Lori persons of interest. So on December 23rd, Sean Bartholick, the Rexburg attorney representing the Daybells, releases a statement calling Chad and Lori loving and devoted to who? Themselves? That's the only people I see them loving and devoted to. But he says allegations will be addressed once they move beyond rumor and speculation. So on December 30th, the Rexburg Police Department issues a news release saying they have information indicating Lori knows either the location of the children or what happened to them, and they call the parents' lack of cooperation astonishing. So now we're heading into January of 2020. Local investigators and the FBI are serving a search warrant on Chad's home. They do recover 43 items, including computers, cell phones, journals, documents, and medications. And these are all sent to an FBI lab in Salt Lake City for further analysis. So on January 7th, Larry and Kay Woodhawk, they traveled to Rexburg from their home in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and they announced a $20,000 reward for information leading to finding the children. Chad Daybell's mother, Daybell's brother, Matt Daybell, pleads for him to cooperate with the investigation on January 10th. Matt says his immediate family has little association with Chad due to concerns about his extreme religious claims and his books. So on January 25th, the Kauai Police Department serves Lori with a notice stating she must produce JJ and Tylee to the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare or the Rexburg Police Department within 5 days. Nate Eaton confronts Chad and Lori. He is a reporter from the East Idaho News, which has done a fabulous job of covering this case from the very beginning. So he actually went out to Hawaii on January 26th, and he tried to confront them after police stopped them at the Kauai Beach Resort. Law enforcement seizes the couple's rental car and search their rental townhome in Princeville, Hawaii. The parents still refuse to say where the children are, and I remember thinking that all the time, like, Lori, just tell us where the children are. Just tell us where the children are, and this can all go away. But she would not. So on January 30th, Lori misses the 5 p.m. deadline to produce JJ and Tylee. And Kay holds a news conference expressing her disappointment. And this is, I think, when everybody really began to realize this was not just going to be a missing kids case. This was going to end up being probably a schmurder. So on February 3rd, the East Idaho News actually went out to the storage unit where Lori abandoned several of the kids' items, and they were able to get some of the surveillance footage from that. So on February 12th, Kay tells East Idaho News that in February of 2019, Charles removed Lori from a $1 million life insurance policy, and Kay was named the sole beneficiary. So this was the one that they were talking about, Chad and Lori were talking about, and where she was alleging that either, his brother or his sister must have changed it, and whether it was done before or after his death, which I just thought was just even worse than what they've already done. So on February 20th, the police in Kauai arrest Lori on a $5 million warrant out of Madison County. She's charged with 2 felony counts of desertion and non-support of dependent children. She's also charged with arrests and seizures, resisting or obstructing officers, criminal solicitation to commit a crime, and contempt of court, willful disobedience of court process or order. Wow, she's charged with a lot. But sadly, she still can't produce the children. So on February 26th, she waives her extradition to Idaho after 6 days behind bars in Hawaii. The waiver comes up and multiple attempts to reduce the bail fail. So she doesn't want to be moved from Hawaii to Idaho, but sadly enough, they go ahead and they're able to extradite her from Hawaii to Rexburg on March 5th. So it does take them a little bit of time, but they're able to get it done. They arrive at the Rexburg airport, and Nate was on scene, and he attempted to speak with her before she's taken to the Madison County Jail, and we'll make sure that we link to that on our social medias. So Lori makes her initial court appearance in Rexburg just one day later on March 6th. Hundreds are waiting in line, hoping to catch a glimpse of the hearing, where Magistrate Judge Farron Edens does reduce her bail to $1 million, and she remains in jail until because she's unable to post her bond. So on April 9th, East Idaho News obtains a letter from the Idaho Attorney General stating Chad and Lori are under investigation for conspiracy, attempted schmurder, and or schmurder. The Maricopa County Medical Examiner does release Alex's autopsy on May 8th, and it does say he died of natural causes due to blood clots in his lungs. Melanie Gibb breaks her silence during an interview with East Idaho News, and she reveals some interesting things there. Around 7 a.m. on June 9th, the Rexburg Police Department, FBI, and Fremont County Sheriff's Office serve a search warrant at Chad's home. Within hours, investigators discover human remains buried on the property that are later identified as those of JJ and Tylee. Around 11:30 a.m. on June 9th, Chad is taken into custody about a mile from his home because he tried to run, and he tells his daughter, "Hey, I almost made it to the county line." He's booked into the Fremont County Jail on 2 felony charges of concealment, distribution, or alteration of evidence, and he makes his first court appearance on June 10th via video from the jail, and bail is set at $1 million. Memorials are set up along the fence of the property where the children were found, and several candlelight vigils are held in their honor. Now, on June 29th, prosecutors filed charges against Lori, including 2 felony counts of conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence. On July 2nd, the prosecutors dismissed 2 felony counts of desertion and non-support of children against Lori. And then on July 15th, she pleads not guilty to misdemeanor resisting or obstructing officers, criminal solicitation to commit a crime, and contempt of court. So that finishes up the month of July. When we come back, we'll be in the month of August. I mean, this is moving quite quickly. This timeline is insane that all of this happens in this amount of time. But thank you once again, and have a good one from The Good Wives, serving up true crime one dish at a time. Come back for part 3.